This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
On this planet, when night falls, terror comes out to hunt. Only light can keep it away.
We stay together, we keep the light burning.
But the light is running out.
A total eclipse.
Critics are calling Pitch Black the scariest sci-fi thriller in years.
Get down!
Pitch Black.
Oh my god. It's a nerd talking to a geek. Oh my god, I think this is going to be a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gents, this is an ongoing franchise. Like, for the longest time, the fourth movie's been in development hell, and it may or may not be coming out this year. So, instead of just waiting to review all the movies, we can just talk about our favorite moments. Then, stay tuned for a later episode in which we talk about the spin-off medium material, including an anime, various video games, and some interactive comics. But, oh my god, Oreo. We're talking about like the most original superhero ever, known as Richard B. Riddick. So this was kind of a word-of-mouth kind of character, you know? He's been repped on the Who Would Win show, and I always thought he was kind of similar to Sam Fisher in Splinter Cell, just the whole he loves the night, you know?
Yeah.
He can hang upside down for who knows how long. David Twahai kind of had similar elements that he had gone on used on Waterworld, and he kind of had similar stuff. It's like, yeah, he looks human, but he's actually a different alien species, yada yada, different genes and everything. You can see in the dark with that surgery, mate.
Funny menthol cool.
Well, first off, how the hell you been doing?
Mm-hmm.
They repackaged that shit so many times. When I first started the podcast in 2019, a year later, I was trying to find what were the best stills on the Blu-ray. And I was like, there's so many different editions. I'm like, I want the ones with the cool covers, but I still want to make sure they have all those special features from the DVDs imported and the new stuff that's been added. You know?
Yep, definitely.
But for the longest time, everyone was like, oh, the trilogy before the third one had come out. I'm like, it's not a trilogy. It's the anime movie.
Well, I mean, technically it's a trilogy.
Yeah, technically.
Well, actually a quadrilogy if you think about it.
There you go, quadrilogy. So let's just call the upcoming fourth one the Syncology.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too late. I would always, circa 2003, I would see Pitch Black just was airing on Sci-Fi Channel, and I'd go by GameStop, and next thing you know, you see the DVD there, and you're like, hey, this is a Polygram USA Films thing. This isn't just any, that's typically what Universal uses for its, you know, indie acquired film pickups. And next thing you know, the back of the DVD says the most cool villain to root for since the Terminator, which is already a confusing review. I'm like, you're not supposed to root for the Terminator, but okay, cool.
Depends on where you're looking at it, though.
Yeah, sure. If I'm Skynet, I'm totally on the Terminator side. Pretty cool.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Damn.
Is that Riddick over there? Ah, good.
No, it's a chick I know from the
Hey.
gym.
Play it, Oreo. Man, so what was your intro to the saga? Like, I knew it was becoming kind of a thing when I saw Lord of the Rings: Return of the King in theaters, and lo and behold, there's a teaser for Chronicles of Riddick in front of it.
I think I was introduced via Pitch Black, and then I
It
got
was
Chronicles
on
of Riddick.
TV or at the video store.
Yeah, I ended up getting the DVD, the unrated edition for it. Actually, that was
I
fun.
can't even think of what movie channel would have aired it back in the day. Probably Stars or
Sci-fi.
right. But I mean the first one. Yeah, but Sci-Fi definitely still to this day will air it quite a lot. Chronicles was a TNT favorite, but I think it premiered on Stars back when it came out, and I saw the unrated version, so I heard a few extra f bombs, and when I found out after the fact that that violence would have costed it an R rating, and I'm not against that, but I was just like, that's R, not even close. You know, there better be some Blade type, full decapitations or Matrix type stuff where people have blood bursting out of their mouth at the last minute, or one of the it's fine, but then you look at the close up and it's like Born Identity. It's fine because it doesn't linger on that, but Matrix gets it because then it lingers on it a little too long and you see all the, gore on people's faces and, bullets in the eyes. So you're just like, yeah, no, wait a little bit on that one. And it had to be, this was definitely during the nightmare where everyone was like, I guess we're not filming an alternate version for TV. Because going to censor the language and cut a few violent moments out. That's all you're getting.
That's like Tales from the Hood, and I'm like, die, maggot farmer. I'm like, maggot farmer? No,
maggot farmer. I wish there were maggots coming out of some of the undead guys' mouths in that movie. But yeah, no, Tales from the Hood I saw in college, and that was another one. It would come on like VH1 or TV1, and I'd be like, man, this is nightmare fuel. Holy shit. The bad guys are cops. Of course, I was already keen on that. I loved watching cops and robbers and crooked cop movies because they gave me great perspective on the sins of the world that no one wants to talk about. And
yeah, that's right.
So that's why it was easy for me to get into stuff like The Shield, Oz, and all the Law and Orders. But then I don't know what it is. I would see people be like, "Oh, I'll watch it just as long as it's not a gangster or a imperfect cop." I'm like, then you don't want any sense of reality. And Riddick is just interesting because he's like Han Solo if he were very, very, very selfish, and I like how it was kind of cool because it was kind of the second one was trying to be kind of like Lord of the Rings with over stylized battles, probably producers' notes. I loved how the first and the third one were kind of just, they were written by the Wheat brothers. So it's like we got alien type creatures, and they worked on the Ewok movies. So it's like there is a bit of Star Wars bounty hunters tracking Riddick, and they're not very appealing, even though they're technically the hero. And yeah, Riddick is he's always the hero. He's on your side until you threaten him, and then and I could tell back in my days when I was doing some background and theater acting, I could tell Riddick was still becoming a beloved movie character, and it's because of that immortal line when he's in the space prison. The underground planet prison in the second one, and I love how he's like, I'm gonna kill you with my teacup. And I just loved it. I was like the most on.
I don't think she likes being touched. I'd take my wounded and go while you still can.
Is there a name for this private little world of yours? Huh? What happens there when we don't just run away? You'll kill us with a soup cup?
Tea, actually.
What's that?
I'll kill you with my teacup.
You know the rule. They are dead if they're still in the books.
it sounds dickish and lame on paper, but it just works. It's just like, yeah, the most kind of like how Jason Bourne will come in and kill you with a magazine or what with his environment, like any anime or uh cartoon character is gonna take out a giant jackhammer or, kind of like Dante and uh what's it called?
I don't
The video game character. Yeah, and Devil May Cry, how he's got the big ass sword.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. That's or no, you're thinking of Final Fantasy with
No,
Cloud.
I'm thinking of Dante from Devil May Cry.
No, I don't know what his sword is. There's Dante,
It's
Virgil, Nero.
I've vaguely heard of Virgil. I don't think I've heard of Nero, but now to be fair, their swords definitely his sword looks like a Final Fantasy type weapon.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
man, they all copy off each other. That's the whole point of the fucking deal. It's just different script.
That's what's weird about Riddick. He sounds like he's derivative on paper, and yet somehow, like, this was the first I'd seen Vin Diesel in Triple X, and was like, he's okay. I saw The Pacifier, which I thought was dog shit. I'd seen him in Saving Private Ryan on TV, and I'm like, that's an interesting bit part. So this is years before I'm in college, and 5 years to be exact, before I see his indie film Strays, and
Yeah, that was his directorial debut.
right, and he had a great line in there too. I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you. He says to a chick. And so a few years later, I watch Knock Around Guys on the internet, and I see a man apart.
That was short. That was only 78 minutes long, but it's billed at 93.
I love that movie. I love how he's just taking out the trash, beating the guys up at the bar, and he's like, "Why are you bother? I'm just gonna kick your ass." So I liked it when he was trying to be the subtle Charles Bronson type, the Vinnie Jones American, if you will. And so when he got into Fast and Furious mode, I'm like, God Lord, his ego's worse than Stallone's. But yeah, Riddick, I think, is the character everybody likes just because it's kind of like, God forbid, let's just say you're not a Keanu Reeves guy, but you like The Matrix. That's just it. The movie is bigger than the actor, and the actor just was well used there. I like Keanu just fine, and that's a story for a different. We wouldn't cover all the Speed and Matrix and John Wick movies if we didn't like Keanu Reeves. But anyway,
true story.
I don't know. I think this is his. If there is anything I will respect him for besides being open to doing cartoon voices, it is for the fact that he took a pay cut and he rescued this franchise instead of waiting for Universal to repeatedly say yes or no.
Yeah.
So I do feel like there is a soul sum there. He's just doing the easy shit, which is racing cars and talking tough.
Fucking 80s.
That's just it too. It's like he's stuck in the 80s, and Riddick, it's weird. It's like there's a bit of a Stallone-ish don't mess with me thing, but I feel like this kind of movie could have been made in any era, even before. And it's kind of good that it came out when it did, because I don't feel like he would have done Guardians of the Galaxy, even though it's just a voice. It's a similar universe. And at the same time, had it come out after that, people would have been like, "Oh, Guardians knockoff, Guardians knockoff." I'm like, no.
That's accurate.
So timing's everything, dude. I would hate to be a fucking investor in today's day. Like, for God's sakes, you and I are writers. I still am developing a audio drama of a Hitman Underworld, and I just know that people are going to instantly go John Wick, Pulp Fiction knockoff, and it's like, well, if it gets it funded, I guess I'll say yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking hell, it's got nothing in common. None of the style or fast pace. I try to have witty dialogue, but it's not Tarantino-esque where it's like, fucking hell, guns of the river. That's what I like.
Everybody's like, we need more swearing, we need more violence.
But you gotta
have a healthy balance.
And we gotta have them Mexicans standoffing each other, guns in every hand, holding sideways.
You know what I'm surprised about, going back to John Wick?
Yeah.
I'm surprised Danny Trejo was not asked to be in that.
How the hell was he not in that, or the Expendables?
Because he did give up doing all bad guy. So
Really?
I understand. Yeah, from last time I read, he said he wasn't doing any more villain roles. I don't
Well,
think.
good for him. He's at that point where he can say no.
No.
And it eats you up after a while if that's all you're
Yeah,
playing is these shady rapists and drug cartel guys.
true. I
It's
mean, he
like
would fit well because you could take the entire
he
Wick
should be in
universe.
Riddick. Hell, he was in Triple X. He'd
Yeah.
be perfect as like a space king or whatever who's like Riddick, you stole, 200, kilos and, alienware from me. Yeah. And I think that's just it too. Like Riddick doesn't speak until he has to speak. And when he
Mhm.
narrates, in fact, that's probably what I like about the beginning of Pitch Black.
Yeah.
It starts out with a freak crash accident, no space battle or anything, but you're hearing him narrate, and so
Yep.
you're already knowing, oh, so he knows this is going to be bad. He might even survive,
Yeah.
and I guess I guess he's interesting because you don't have to. He's not asking you to like him. That's what's interesting about this character is like he's not asking permission to exist, but he's here, and
Yeah.
just about everybody wants him dead. So it's also kind of easier to put two and two together. It's like, well, no wonder he's not very friendly. Everyone wants him
That's
dead, and he knows how to survive. And he's always like, if you don't come with me, you're not going to make it out here.
true.
And when he has a few of his friends die at both the beginning and near the end of Chronicles, I think those are best moments because you actually see how he knows he's going to survive, but he's getting just annoyed that everybody else is getting hurt in the process. So there's semblances of humanity in him.
Yeah.
Um, and the alien creatures were great. I just liked how it was the oldest trick in the book. It was suspense. There was that horror aspect in the first, and
Hmm.
the fantasy aspect in the second. Then it went back to gritty aliens type sci-fi in the third, and just Cole Hosher, this kind of introduced me to him. I had seen him in other bit parts. I knew he was like his father was like a B movie actor, and he was just one of those guys you got, for
Yeah.
just to play a soldier or a cowboy and everything.
And he came out at like the right time too, because 2000 was such a wild time frame
It
because you
was a
have
very distorted time frame. His TV going away, his DVD taking over.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have the fact that it's the millennium, so everybody it's literally a new millennium, so everybody's trying to outdo what was released in '99 and try to make this
Hmm.
new decade even more definitive
Oh,
by
it's
what
just
was
ridiculous.
released.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fun though. That's what makes it exciting.
Oh yeah, we had to go for that period. It's just people were getting caught up in is Y2K going to actually happen? It's like no.
Yeah. And that was a year before Lauder even hit.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I still can't believe that they came up with that visual style just by changing the coloring in post, like in the film lab,
Yeah.
because I think that's what gave it its style to me. And this was when you see those free moves, like that was kind of the movie getting comfortable after the initial setup in Pitch Black. This is like, okay, this isn't real sci-fi, but let's say for the sake of argument, this is how this works in this world. And so it's like, okay, cool. That would never happen. But I accept what you are selling. I accept how the cookie crumbles. I accept how the pie is made. Unlike anything else where it's just like crappy looking aliens or bizarre way people are talking and there's no build up to it. It's like, yeah, okay, we got comfortable on this planet. This is how it looks, and go.
Yeah, you got to take into the fact that Pitch Black's opening is still iconic because it starts out bright, and then
Yeah, that's true.
as you progress through the film, it gets darker, and then the eclipse happens, and then your eyes have to adjust from brightness to
I didn't think
And if
about
you,
that, but yeah.
yeah, and if you saw that during the daytime, you're like, oh, this is great. And then you get outside, like, fuck, I can't see a goddamn thing.
That movie made me a fan of Rado Mitchell for life, and
Yeah.
I think it was just seeing that back to back with Man on Fire and everything, and then anything else she was in is like, see, this is a strong heroine. I can't believe she's an Aussie. Oh my god, what a cool person. Um, when I had the fortune to talk to Bokeem Woodbine, he couldn't give any spoilers about Riddick. It was before it had come out. And
How is Bokeem? He sounds cool as shit.
he really is the
No.
coolest dude ever. I need to just republish that interview. I did that back in 2012. He could talk about some other shit he had worked on, but mainly I just asked him how was it being on stuff like Dead President, Sniper 2, The Rock, all the blockbuster movies he was in, being the hood or the tough guy or the soldier. Yeah, no, he thought it was a cool shoot. He mainly liked working with Katie Sackhoff. He was like, yeah. And he had a chance to work with Rado Mitchell on a short-lived TV show she did where she's like a dead mobster's wife trying to rise to power called Red Widow. And he talked about working with Luke Goss, who is the bad guy in Hellboy 2 and Blade 2.
Yeah.
And there's another dude I would love to work with. In fact, I would write a movie for him to work on that's better than some of the direct video shit he's been in lately. I'm like, dude, just adapt my movie. It'll be a juicy role for you, and I'll just hire someone to bring it to life who's not going to fuck it up. Yeah, no, I need to republish that interview, but good reminder. I had that scheduled.
There you go.
But I think so. I'd seen Bautista like guest star on like Smallville and Chuck and a few other things, even Scorpion King Free of all things. But yeah, when I saw him in Riddick, I was like, cool. And my brother isn't as younger than me. He's not much of a movie guy. He'll watch stuff if it's something cool like a space epic or a baseball movie or stupid Will Ferrell comedy. But he had seen this, I think, in his college dorm with his friends, and so he sees I'm watching, so he sits down, watches with me, and he's like, "Oh, this is the one cool part." I'm like, "Don't spoil it." And I just thought Bautista's acting was really good. I liked how he was more intimidating than Vin.
Yeah, definitely.
As the Merc, and I like how Twahai, who's he's worked on everything, Warlock, and all the other, The Fugitive, and all kinds of other smart. Below was a good one, which was people trapped on a ghost haunted submarine. He's good with action and horror and adventure and sci-fi. So I think because he just lets it all speak for itself. He gets the atmosphere down, and he has the dialogue be basic, but not in a well fuck, I could write that. It's like
and the planet itself in Riddick is a character unto itself.
Yeah, you're wondering
I love that.
It's not dorky or satirical like Starship Troopers, but I love how, all the alien creatures, it's hard to be mad when they're just, that's how they are. That's how they survive. But at the same time, like, they're freaky because you don't know how big they are because, they only come out at night. They're like vampires.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And seeing Claudia Black in the first one, in the thankless role, around the same time she started Farscape. I mean, I was a fan for life.
Actually, that was during Farscape.
Right.
Farscape started in '99.
Right.
So that was the second season.
Yeah, technically season 2, and filmed around her same area, so that makes sense. But yeah, I didn't really owe anything to anybody else. Like I do get some Babylon 5 kind of moments of it because they build up that whole prophecy that Riddick is the one to lead his kingdom and dominate the universe, kind of, but that's about it.
Yeah.
That's as cryptic as it gets. And I like how you kind of got that in the third movie. They're like, kind of what you are implied is like, Carl Urban.
We're going to Furia. I don't know when. We got to find the map first.
You're right. And this fucker, he's going to stab him in the back the first chance he gets. And he does. And he's like, he's Carl freaking Urban. And Carl always plays again an anti-hero or a badass. And,
Definitely.
and the beauty of it is you know him for so many different things. It can be Doom, Lord of the Rings, New Star Trek, or Almost Human.
Yeah.
In the Riddick movies and the Bourne films, that was a big year. Just doing those two back to back is like, okay,
Yeah.
he's really having fun being the opposing force in the room.
And he made a lot of bank too, if you think about that time frame, because that goes from 2000 to all the way to
He does
that's 3 years.
he deserves legit awards because like he can do all these accents, but
Yeah.
because his name's not Russell Crowe and these movies are popcorn films, he doesn't get any consideration, which is bullshit.
True.
The fact that he's such a good actor, his marriage crumbled from all this traveling, it's like, come on, give the guy some roses.
I mean, that's a hell of a deal though, because I mean, he worked. He did Lauder first, then Riddick. So yeah, he made bank in 2 different decades. That's amazing.
He is always the best part of any movie. He is never. I see some people talk shit about him on small occasions where I didn't like that movie, therefore he sucks too, or he was miscast. I'm like, no, I bought him as the serial killer. I bought him as the crooked cop. I bought him as the space marine who's not taking shit. So in this, it was just it's cringy when you first get into the whole exploits of the kingdom, but I think it's just because we weren't used to just over the top kind of spectacle like that. And I dug how Sandy Newton's character is basically Lady Macbeth. This was about this would have been the second or third thing I saw her in after Pursuit of Happiness and Mission Impossible 2. I knew she was
that's
in other
wild because
stuff.
that's what 5 years before she do Avatar. That's impressive shit.
Wait, Sandy Newton's in Avatar?
Oh, I thought you were saying, yeah, Sandy. No, not. Oh, I'm thinking of Zoe. My bad.
You're thinking of Zoe Saldana. No. I
was
wish.
like, oh, she was an Avatar. I was like, no,
Now-
wrong bitch.
You can say it because you're mixed, but I was a stupid mofo one time, and I got her mixed up with Naomi Harris when I was watching Rampage. And like, wait a sec, no. I guess my eyes were squinted, or I was really tired when I saw the movie. But yeah, no, I'd seen Beloved, I'd seen Shade, I really dug her by the time I'd seen Crash and Rock and
Crash
Roll.
was good. I need to rewatch that at some point.
I love it too, dude. I think a lot of people talk shit about it because they're not kind of like falling down. They're not ready to have a conversation.
Oh, I love Falling Down. That's easy too.
I did too. Future episodes. Years before Westworld, and I think the first thing everyone knew him from was as the prostitute who gets killed by Tom Cruise in Interview with the Vampire. But I was like, but this was interesting because you can either root for or against her, but you understand where she's coming from. It's not an overtly sexual movie, but she's using her cunning to get what she wants. And I don't know, dude. I think a lot of people like to overthink this fucking movie. It's just a fun movie. And it's so funny. One time I was at work at college and my father had the TV on. He's like, have you seen this? This is a visually stunning movie. I'm like, yeah, I saw it with Uncle Joe. I'm like, okay, cool. And just making sure, because I know you love kick-ass sci-fi movie.
It is. It's one of those that you can just pop on and you can either pay deep attention to it or you can just sit back.
You can talk. That is true too. It is absolutely a Schwarzenegger type movie where you can look real deep into it like the Terminator, or you can just be one of the hooligans in the audience going, oh, cool.
It's true.
Oh, I love the Arnold's ass and him cocking the shotgun. That got me off.
That is funny. Because people are like that. It's so stupid.
There are. Dude, I knew a fucking idiot who saw all the Saw and Terminators and even Punisher movies, and he would just quote them verbatim. I'm like, Christ. What do your parents do? Do they lock you in the cellar? Oh my. I can't imagine anybody saying there is nothing good about these movies. It's like, well, you got to like at least one of these. If you don't like Chronicles, you can still like Pitch Black. You can't tell me that's a broken dog. That's awkward way of saying it. But You can't tell me this is a table collapsing on itself with nothing to hold it together. There's not. You can't tell me this is a broken system. But every once in a while, I'll get that, dude. I would. We're gonna talk about Blade again, but dude, I knew people who didn't like Wesley Snipes, so they wouldn't watch Blade. I'm like, you, come on. You can
And it's
only hate so
wild.
many actors. You can only hate so many
It's
actors.
it's true because you look at all these different films and when they came out, and at that time frame, like they were popular, but then it took a long time for some of them to gain a following, and then other ones,
I don't
it
even
was
get
just
that
instant.
either. Why did it
It's
take so
weird. It's the time frame. I mean, there's a lot of comic book films that have come out in the past that came out in the wrong decade, and they should have come out now because they fit better. But
Did the
honestly,
marketing also goof it up, or
it depends on what the marketing was like. Like I've seen ones where they were really fucked up. The worst one that I saw marketing wise was probably Strange World from Disney, where it just had a poster, a trailer, and nothing else. And it bombed.
that's right.
Yeah, it bombed.
The
I'm
one
like,
that first revealed that to me, that there was all I was used to seeing scenes in the trailer that weren't in the movie,
yeah,
and
that too. Oh,
and I
that's
just
bad.
and I just didn't think about it. I was like, well, they deleted it for some reason, but the movie was at
Yeah,
least good. But the first one
yeah,
that did that for me was War with Jason Statham and Jet Li. Everyone thought it was going to be Heat with them facing off, and it wasn't. It was, again, kind of like Chronicles. It was a Shakespearean kind of everyone's taking each other down, but
yeah.
they're not. They have nothing in common except, spoiler, one of them used to work with the other. Blah blah blah. But
No, not spoilers. Anything but those.
spoiler, yeah. And Statham's another guy, dude. I can take him or leave him. It depends on the movie. I like Parker and Homefront and Safe, but then there's other movies where I'm like, oh, Jason Statham, and I'm like, I don't know.
Oh,
I think
Jason
you,
Statham.
I think
Oh,
you
that was
have a bit of,
Transporter.
yeah, there you go. And when he was saying he was almost going to join the Transformers movies, I'm like, perfect. He can be the Transporter racing Bumblebee or something. I don't know. So I feel like he's better at racing cars and got a better resume than Vin, but lately, it's rough. I don't know.
Yeah, because it happens. Like it's all these franchises that don't know how to end. They're literally
We
the
have to
NWO.
end. Oh,
They're literally the NWO. It's literally the NWO.
yeah.
It's so bad. And if people don't like that analogy,
Just
go
like a
fuck
TV
off.
show that keeps getting good
Mm,
ratings, but they keep
yeah,
firing the writers and stars, and it
yeah, like
collapses in on itself.
it's the truth because I look at it and I compare it to the NWO. It should have ended at Starrcade '97, but it didn't. It kept going, and they didn't know what the hell to do. And there was a lot of shit behind the scenes that was going on that caused a lot more problems, money wise, and all that. But in the end, when you look at franchises today that just keep going and going and going and don't have an end game in sight, it's the NWO all over.
Hmm.
And it's sad. It's like you look at Riddick, and that franchise should
People still want
end.
a new one, even though it's
Yeah,
20 years old almost.
yeah. Like fuck. You have Pitch Black, you have Chronicles, you have Riddick, you have Dark Fury, which is in between the
They're
first
kind
two.
of genre movies, if you will. Like,
Yeah,
it's weird to explain. It's just like, and whatever they come out with the fourth one, I kind of compare them to Universal's other franchise, The Purge. They're going to stand
mm,
out in their own way. They're not trying to be the same fucking thing all over again. But
fuck the Purge. I hate that franchise. Stupid. Like the first one was like, okay, this is pretty cool,
the
and they're
second
like, oh,
one
we're
won me
gonna do
over.
more. I don't know. It's so dumb. It's like you have 12 hours to do what you want. And what's the first thing people do? Murder. Like, give me a
I
fucking break.
I don't think it's perfect. I think it's a very flawed John Carpenter wannabe franchise, but it
But
there's some fun shit. But that being
it's like
said,
when the Fog came out in '70, and it was R, and then it gets decades later, it's actually PG.
oh yeah, I never understood that. There's many times where I'm very convinced that the ratings board sees a lot of things that aren't actually there. And they're just
Uh,
like, what are you talking about?
it's rated R. Like,
I
no,
guess
and
I
then
heard someone say shit, but that's
and what's really sad is the remake for it is even more horrible because they decided to change the ending, made it sexual, and I'm like,
that sucked.
I know, I hate it. I'm like, why are you showing these stupid, dumb 20-something body shots? Like, that has nothing to do with it. Like, that's not the whole point of this fall at all. It'd be like if they decided to remake Riddick
Oh
or
god.
if they took Riddick and decided to make it just throw in body shot after body shot and shit. Like that ruins
Yeah.
the entire premise. Like,
Make it more
it's dumb.
graphic just for the
Yeah.
hell of it, or
Like, let me see.
over
Oh,
explain it. I don't know.
yeah. Like, I was paging through Bring It On's autobiography on how that film came to be. And
Bring It
there's
On?
one,
Wow.
yeah, Bring It On from 2000. Same year.
2000s
yeah.
had so many of these movies that blurred the line between giant mainstream movie and indie darling.
Yeah. And one of the lines from the director or producer was, we're going to utilize every tit and ass shot we can for the trailer. And I'm like, that is fucking smart. And it did work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even though that's not what the movie is. I mean, I never thought
No,
it
it's
was a
not.
sexual movie.
No, it's funny though. But like, you look at the trailer and it's like, oh, Kirsten Dunst's topless. Oh, okay. I'm going to see her topless in the film. No.
It's a comedy though. Oh,
It
man.
is. It's one of those like 2000s was such a flux of films because you had your action films that stood out, you had your teen dramas and comedies.
Yeah, the horror movies
stood
that
out.
were hard to define, like American Psycho. You're like, did
Yeah,
you see that? It's disturbing, but it makes you think. Oh, okay.
yeah, it does. Like, you look at 2000, it's literally 2000 right after
I'm a
1999.
gladiator.
Yeah, and it's so unique because after 99, people were like, it was such a rush. You know, here's the new millennium. What's going to be in theater after this? Like, how do you top 1999? Even Edward Norton said this in an interview. He would put 1999 up against any decade and it would blow it away. And I'm like, yeah, he's kind of right because 99 is literally the last year and every movie put their shit on the line. You had Fight Club, you had Matrix, which redefined sci-fi and thought processing.
Yep.
What else came out in 99? I think American Pie, which like started the whole teen comedy bullshit, even though everybody's in their 20s. Blade. Well, actually, that was my say. There was a whole bunch of them that came out, and it was a rush. And you're like you're a director, you're trying to make the best fucking pitch ever to literally define what the end of the 90s is going to be.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, boom, it's going to sell like a motherfucker. And then 2000 hits, and it's like, oh God, how do we top what we just did like 2 days ago? How do we top the previous fucking year? And then you have Pitch Black, and
the trailers were so different. They would have the guys who do epic and cartoon Saturday morning cartoon voiceovers, as well as guys who do just all kinds of other stuff. And you're like, but it got you engaged, even if it was the lamest thing or had overdone electronic music. And you just like, I'm down for the count. I buy what you're selling.
And when the biggest thing is that all the action stars, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Bruce Willis, all them from 80s and
they
90s.
were all trying to stay relevant, even though some of them were on their way out. And
their career, and it shows too. Like, we talked about this before. I forget which podcast it was, but I pointed out how, you know, you look at their career. I think it was Schwarzenegger. Yeah, it was Schwarzenegger's podcast. His career started out, you know, he was bodybuilding, then he did his extensive films, and he became
people still followed him even though he was in office for 8 years, you know. Shit.
Yeah. And
was that
you know, yeah, his careers went from action and then they dwindled down to, family stuff and
Sci-fi.
kid stuff.
That's
Yeah.
why I liked him too. He gave it his all in every area, even if it was a weird. Just
Even
how to
Maggie is one of my top
love
favorites.
Maggie
Yeah.
Junior. I thought was just as funny as twins. What do I fucking know?
And Junior's relevant today. Shit.
It really is. End of
That's the
Days, I think, is a better almond type
Yeah.
movie than an actual almond sequel. It's just
Yeah, it
Oh,
really
shit.
is. Like, you can look at every film that's come out.
who else could have played
Before-
Conan back then? Someone else would have just been bland or
Jesus.
unlikable, and he knew how to match the grit with the. I mean, I think Conan is very much like Riddick, where he's just
Yeah.
the camera loves him. We know how to frame the character. I mean, Conan was already established comic book character, but I mean,
Yeah.
Riddick is much like RoboCop, where you can easily build upon him in comics. And Alexa Davalos, so you have stuff like Defiance and FBI Most Wanted, and
I love Defiance. That was a good series.
oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't the show. It was the Daniel
Oh.
Craig Jewish resistance fighter movies. But yeah,
I
that
don't
was.
know that shit.
But yeah, Defiance show was fun for a while. That had Linda Hamilton. Alexa Davalos, you've seen her in.
I don't know.
She was in Angel season 4. She was
I
Man in the
have
High
all.
Castle.
Angel, I remember, but like
She was in
it's
The
vague.
Mist and Clash of the Titans, but yeah, since then you saw her briefly as Beth in the Punisher TV show, Mob City. But yeah, no, my favorite role when I saw her in both Chronicles and starring Pancho Villa as himself, I'm like, see, this is an interesting actress. I have no idea. She's born to like French parents, Spanish descent. I've never seen her prior, but I'm on the lookout because she's a cool heroine. I like how when she first meets him in the prison, I like how there's nothing rapey. It's all I can fend for myself, but I'm coming along with you. It wasn't. I like how throughout this whole franchise, no one is to the point of I need you to save me. It's just like okay,
No.
no victim shit here. It was just
Yeah, that's another thing that was like really gravitated away from was the save the damsel in distress bullshit.
mhm.
Uh,
Nothing like no shit like that, man. No shit like that.
word. Save me! I need saved.
Yeah, even
Where's
the
my
other-
big strong man?
it did take me a while to get over the fact that they killed the holy man character Keith David play. I'm like, come on, he was my favorite
Yeah.
in the first one.
Yes.
I want them to secretly say he didn't die if they come out with the next one, or just show him talking to him spiritually from whatever their version of heaven is. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think this whole show tracks because you're
Invested.
invested and you look forward to just it's not just what's the next action scene, it's
Yeah.
seeing them bring this world to life. It just really does show it isn't, oh, what did Industrial Light and Magic or Digital Domain contribute to this? Like no one who did the fucking effects for this? I don't know, because it wasn't the star.
True.
Who did the effects on Riddick? Peter Chiang, who's worked on everything, John Carter, 2014's Godzilla, Pacific Rim. They had him as the effects supervisor. He's done other stuff like Born Identity, Total Recall remake, Stardust. Okay, cool.
I like that remake. Everybody hates it. I like it. I own the direct.
It's watchable. I just
got the
think it's kind of
director's
lazy.
cut steelbook.
Oh, what's different than the director's cut?
I don't know. It's a director's cut.
So I thought this was an interesting role for Judi Dench, but it got annoying at first. Like, so why can't are her powers limited?
Well, she's yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what she was called. Oh,
It's like
air
she was-
elemental.
It's like she was kind of stalling for time. So it was kind of,
Mm.
if there's any complaint, I don't feel like they utilized her character enough. But boy, howdy,
Yeah.
Calm Fior as the Fura or whatever his name. I was like, I love to hate him. So Rhythm
he
and
was so good in Storm of the Century. Fuck.
yeah, the Stephen King miniseries, that was good. Probably his best role. So I'm wrong. Rhythm and Hughes, who I accidentally would mix up with Digital Domain, worked on this. You probably know their work from Harry Potter and they've done some other stuff. Hold up, let me look up what they've worked on. I used to be able to find a cool effects page for everything, and they had all their movies listed. Yeah, so they've done the X-Men, Game of Thrones, the newer Hellboy, The Boys. But what did okay, so they did Die Hard 4 and The Kingdom, but what did they do? Okay, so they pretty much did all the X-Men and some of the Lord of the Rings movie. Okay, so cool. So I thought it was just Weta, but no, I was mistaken. They did some of the other digital shots in the Rings trilogy. So cool. You'll love this. Before they had done Chronicles of Riddick, they had done stuff like Bedazzled, Frequency, The Sixth Day, Hollow Men, End of Days.
Oh my god, all those films
Soldier, Spawn, Speed 2, Batman and Robin, and Mystery Men, and our favorite, Battlefield Earth.
Yes, I love Battlefield Earth.
There you go, man. There you go.
Everybody hates it. I'm like, dude, it's
my favorite bad movie.
I love that.
More on that later. It's all good. At least we agree it should exist.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll return after these messages.
If you like small town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening. It's a jacked up